Okay, we're back here on a Monday morning. It's First News Keeler in the morning. Going to give you a chance to win our free money question of the day. Andrew, what caller do you want to take here?
Oh, let's do caller 5 right now.
Let's do caller 5 right now. It's 7360186. Give you a chance to win $1, $2, or $300 in cash from the Hobica Law Firm. 7360186. Here you go. Here's your chance to win. And I have what I think is a couple of pretty good questions. So we'll go after that coming up here in just a second. 7360186, caller number 5 through the phone lines. And we'll get to that coming up. Forecast for the next couple of days looks kind of nasty with rain showers today, tonight, and tomorrow. Highs today near 60 degrees, tomorrow only 46. But then after that, it seems to improve just a little bit as temperatures go up into the 50s and 60s with sunshine through the week. You can give the gift of music with WIBX. Many local students have an interest in playing an instrument but lack the financial means to purchase one, and you can change that. If you have an instrument gathering dust in the attic or taking up space in the garage, no matter the condition or age, bring it to our collection event at Sangertown Square on May 14th. Samco Music in Dowsville will refurbish each and every one of the instruments, and they'll be given to local students in need. You can give the gift of music with this event, which is coming up again on May 14th, and it's Samco Music in Dowsville has volunteered to do all of this. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really
that's coming
great.
up on May 14th.
Yeah, it's really a great thing.
Yeah, because
for the local
these
students.
instruments are not they're not cheap, and oftentimes these students they can't afford it, and it's pretty good. So I think it's a positive. That happens on May 14th coming up. So if you've got something laying around, instead of getting $5 for it at a garage sale, it'll mean a lot more and because it'll be refurbished, it'll mean a lot more to these kids. So you can check that out. We are coming live here this morning from Orlando, Florida. It's spring break week. And John is on in Rome, and we have a chance to win here our free money question of the day. John, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
All right, let's do this thing. You have a chance at $1, $2, or $300 in cash. And let's start by spinning the wheel and see what we land on. $1, $2, or $300 of Hobica's money. Here we go.
$200.
$200.
All right, you're playing for
Not
$200.
bad.
Not bad. Let's make this thing happen. Here we go. This would be history. And here is your question. After General Herkimer's defeat at the Battle of Oriskany, which famous Revolutionary War general came to the rescue of Rome's Fort Stanwix? Ready, go.
Burgoyne?
Okay, good guess. Is that it? Yeah, the correct answer is General Benedict Arnold.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, remember that ironic question?
No kidding.
Oh, yes, Bill. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a tricker.
All right, John, listen, we'll still give you something. How about dinner for two over at Carmela's? Andrew's going to hook you up, and we appreciate it. Have
Sounds
a great day.
Bill. Thank you.
Okay, John, thank you. Yeah, isn't that that's a great question.
I didn't know that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and of course, you know that things did not turn out well for Benedict Arnold.
No.
In the end, at the end of everything.
You know, it's interesting. The Fort Stanwix is recently just did I forget what they call these events where you're locked in a room. You have so much time to get out of a room. It's like
an escape challenge.
Yeah.
An escape challenge, right? So what they do, and they're actually going to be doing more this summer, is they debrief you basically, and they tell you become the traitor. And you have so much time to accomplish these different tasks, and then the staff at Fort Stanwix, playing the role of the Americans, is trying to find you and hunt you down. It's kind of a cool thing, and it's a way that they're incorporating teaching history with these like exciting type learning experiences.
Type thing.
Yeah.
Promoting
That's
espionage.
cool.
Great.
That's good. Yeah, later we're gonna teach people how to fly airplanes and hijack them, and that'll be a lot of fun too.
Well, it's not quite that,
but you know what it is they're looking, and it's really smart because they're looking at these video games. So anytime you have this competition and you're playing to win, all of a sudden, especially these young males, love playing that stuff. So if you could incorporate a little learning in history, I mean, how many times do you have some kid who really pays no attention to the schoolwork, all of a sudden starts bopping off information because he learned it while playing a video game?
Yeah.
Right? And that's not that these are video games, but it's it's kind of a competition.
And these kind of places are popping up all over. There's one in Destiny, USA. It's 5 Wits, which I went to. So fun.
We actually did one in outside of Syracuse, somewhere close to Central Square, and it was kind of around Halloween time. But that's the beauty of these things, is it's not really an attraction just for Halloween anymore. It doesn't have to be scary or have that jump factor. This one is you got an hour's time, and based on clues in the room, you have to work your way through the house and try and escape. So it's basically called Escape the Estate, and you've got to, based on the clues they provide or things that you find, you have to find your way out. And
we were doing something very similar like that, very similar to that here in Florida just last night. What happens is every time you get the wrong card, you got to take a shot of vodka and then remove an article of clothing. And it was a good time. It really was something.
especially
Learn
with
a
that
lot.
warmth.
You learn a lot. That's all I'm saying.
About your neighbors.
Sometimes you learn just a little too much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, they held the press conference on Prince. The sheriff at Carver County, Minnesota, held a press conference on Friday to talk about the investigation into Prince's death. He says they're going to respect Prince's privacy and dignity and hope that the public will do the same. You do kind of wonder if the average person would get this same. No, the answer is, by the way. It almost seemed like this guy was breaking up during this. If you remember, he doesn't have the voice for, like if there are two robbers in a bank and he yells, "Stop, police." He just doesn't have that voice, but stop. But the more that's coming out, and I know that, this, and Christine was kind of staying clear of, you can just imagine him walking in and be like, yeah, right. And the guys walk out with the money.
No, and I'm just imagining you sitting in the hotel lobby yelling, "Stop, police!" right now. And how many heads turned when you just did that?
Point.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole experience in itself, because this was supposed to be a private room today, and somehow they were unable to unlock the door. So I'm in the lobby.
How far away from you from that waterfall, by the way? How far away from you?
I'm going to send you guys a photo of this the lobby. It is unbelievable, and there's a huge waterfalls inside the lobby, and it's quite a distance away. I'm on the complete. I went searching for a place here in the lobby that was as far away from the waterfalls as possible. So, you can hear it in the background?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Broadcasting live from Niagara Falls in Florida.
That's right. That's kind of what it sounds like. Anyway, on this Prince thing, I think the more that's coming out, there seemed to be some sort of an ailment or an injury, and there seemed to be prescription meds. And isn't this the story that we hear over? And now, again, we don't know that that's confirmed, but the talk was that he was a Jehovah's Witness, and they don't believe in using drugs, and even medicine is tough. But the more you hear about this, the more it sounds like the story that could come out is something like we hear every day around here, right? Mm-hmm. These stories which lead to, maybe heroin, but it all seems to always start with some sort of pain, whether it's a backache or something, that you take these meds and you can't get them anymore, and then it leads to something really bad.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate. I guess my question was, I thought it was really quick, how quickly he was
cremated.
Cremated, yeah. So I'm assuming they took at least one vial of blood to conduct tests, but they were talking about doing an autopsy. You're trying to figure out what caused his death, and then the next day they said, it was Saturday. They said he's been cremated and we held the service and thanks for coming. And that was it. So I'm wondering how much they can find out now.
Well, based on speculation and reports from other outlets that are not news, but TMZ, for example.
Which, by the way, I got to tell you can't discount TMZ.
No, you
because
can't.
They break every story. It's unbelievable.
But I was watching a video from them, and they were basically discussing how if it was something like the flu, then he was only 42 minutes away from the airport that they were supposed to stop at. So, if he really had the flu, you could probably stick it out for 42 minutes. But if it was something like he was having an issue with drugs, he would have had to have landed immediately. And then if he's,
well, if you remember,
last
week, last week we heard that he had one of those shots, so like one of those overdose shots,
right?
And that came from one of our Fox News people last week. But
people were talking about the fact that I guess my point was that people have talked about this in the past, and just makes your point make sense, Bill, about his past condition. I think people said he was seen walking with a cane a lot, and he had some kind of degenerative hip disease or something like that.
Michelle Polino from Fox was telling us last week
she was the one
that I think it was Sheena Easton had said that he did have hip problems from performing on stage.
Oh, okay.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, it's very sad. But Manansky, I felt the same way. It's like, wow, they did that cremation very quickly. But that also might be a religious thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
At the end of the day, it's now they must have done what they had to do in the autopsy, and the body was cleared to be cremated. So.